Okay, this is number 15. You're solving for the empirical formula. So you're trying to find how many of the subscripts of each element you have. So how many carbons I have, how many hydrogens and oxygens I have. So in this question, I've given you the percentage. The last video, I gave you how many each one I had, subscript, and we had to find the percentage. So we're working backwards for this question. So for this question, first thing you want to do is write just the separate elements you're working with. So you got carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Now, I don't know the subscripts right now. That's what you're solving for. So I'm going to write the percentage of each one, but I'm not going to write the actual percent sign because basically what I'm going to work with is I'm saying that I have 40.03 out of 100. So I've got basically 40.03 grams out of 100 grams. So I've got 40.03 grams of carbon, 6.67 grams of hydrogen, and 53.3 grams of oxygen. So what you're going to do now is I've got 12 grams per mole of carbon. So you're going to divide the first one by 12 because that's for carbon. Hydrogen, I've got 1.01, sorry. So I'm going to divide by 1.01. And oxygen, it's 16. So if you remember from the previous video, I'm just going to look at the oxygen one. You had it was 16 grams per mole for oxygen, and you times it by 4 because I had 4 oxygens, and then that gave me an answer. So that answer that you got, well, that's my 53.3. So I've got a total of 53.3 oxygen, and I'm kind of dividing out the grams per mole of oxygen. So we're going to do each one. I'll start with the carbon. So 40.03 divided by 12. So I've got 3 and 2 decimal places is more than enough. So I've got 3.335. So I'll just write 3.34. And then 6.67 divided by 1.01. You've got 6.60, and you've got 53.3 divided by 16, which equals 3.33. Now, if these were all whole numbers, you would be done. You would have 3 carbon, maybe 6 hydrogen, and say 3 oxygen. But I've got decimals. So that's a problem because we can't have partial of an element. You can't have 0.33 of an oxygen. So what you're going to have to do then is you're going to have to take each one, you're going to have to look at the smallest one, which is 3.33, and you're going to divide each one by that number. So 3.33, 3.33, 3.33. So you're working with ratios because you're looking at proportions. So it's fine. As long as it's proportional, it doesn't matter. So the first one, so it's 3.34 divided by 3.33 is 1.00. So it's basically 1. This one, though, is 6.6 divided by 3.33. It's 1.98. So we got a problem there. And then this one equals 1. So we still have a problem because I've got 1.98. But that's close enough, and you can use your rounding rules to 2. So basically what you're saying is, for this question, you've got the empirical formula, which is what you should be writing at the very end. So therefore, what do we got? We got carbon 1. Now, I don't need to write a subscript 1 when it's a 1. Every other number you do. I've got 2 hydrogens, so I've got hydrogen and oxygen. So basically what you're working with is carbon dihydrogen oxide. Now, because this is a chemistry question, I don't know if you remember science class, but it's not quite the same as in math class, where in science class, if you have something that has a 0.5, then we got problems. So as long as it's not 0.5, you're fine. Just use the rounding rules. So if I have 1.6, that becomes 2. If I have 1.4, that's still 1. But if you have 1.5, so I'm just going to make something up. So if you say had your answer after you divided, say 3, 1.5, and then 2, this is a problem because at 1.5, do I round up or do I round down? In math class, it would be up. But in science class, and since this is a chemistry question, it could be up or down. So to get around it, just double everything. If you double everything, then it won't be a problem. So just double everything. And so this would become a 6, this would become a 3, and this would become a 4. And then whatever the elements are, that's all I would say. So I have 6 of the first one, 3 of the second one, 4 of the of the last one. So you're going to come across that once or twice in these homework questions. Just be aware of that, and you're all done.